American first or American last? Let's talk about it. So here's Trump's policies. You can pause to read. Here's Kamala Harris' policy. You can pause to read. So now that we've seen both plans, let's unpack both of these economic plans. So they differ significantly. Trump's economic strategies, it aims to enhance America by stimulating economic growth through domestic oil drilling, increasing energy production and manufacturing. He also will reduce individual tax burdens, generate more tax revenue through tariffs, and encourage innovation. Also, by penalizing corporations for importing goods and services from foreign countries rather than creating them domestically, will also encourage more businesses to source goods and services here locally. So most Americans don't even know how many federal agencies it really is. When I looked it up, it was 439 federal agencies that are repetitive and redundant. So Elon Musk will be the head of this task force to combat fraud, wasteful spending, and improper payments. He will be conducting audits and reforming the financial and operational aspects of these agencies. The federal government hasn't been audited in over 50 years. Now, do you see why they want to stay in power? Drain the swamp. So let's not be fooled. The only reason why they want to prevent Trump from entering in that White House is because this task force will be scrutinizing the financial practices of all government agencies due to inadequate accountability, corruption, and lack of transparency. So to be fair, I did hear Kamala's economic. I had to catch it at one of her rallies. She kind of vaguely talks about it. But her approach differs from Trump's. Her strategy seems a bit scattered, and it involves increased spending and relies on substantial tax increases through penalties on corporations and high net worth individuals. And don't be fooled, there's going to be a tax hike on the middle class as well. So this was one of the biggest issues that I had with it. So rather than letting the market dictate the supply and demand of goods and services, she is advocating for a more government-controlled system, similar to communism. So this is where the economists are having an issue with, even on both sides, her side and also on Trump's side, and the American people. And me being an accounting professional, it didn't make any sense to me either. Because if you raise the corporate tax rate significantly, it's going to reduce working capital, cash flow, and profits, and also it potentially results in substantial layoffs and desolates job creation. And her plan not only fails to assist the middle class, but it also harms it. So by removing Trump's tax credits, you will face an additional 1 to 4% increase in individual income tax. That's the quiet part that isn't being said out loud. By raising the capital gains tax to 44%, it's seen as a form of government overreach. So for instance, if you buy a stock for $100 and it sells for $100,000, you will be required to pay $44,000 of your gains in taxes to the government. So the unrealized capital gains tax is something that has not been done in American history before. So this means that your assets are taxed each year based on their growth, even before you sell them. So for instance, if you buy a stock for $100 and it grows to $100,000, you'll owe the government $25,000 from your own funds, despite not selling the stock yet. Both scenarios are theft by taxation, in my opinion. To be fair, she now specifies that she is focusing solely on individuals with a net worth of $100 million. So you might ask, what's the issue with that? Well, the concern is that this approach may discourage venture capitalists, private equity firms, and angel investors from providing funding for small businesses and startups. And minority businesses have a hard time receiving funding in the first place. So increased taxation on capital gains will also lead to a mass sell-off of assets in the stock market, which will have a significant negative impact on retirement accounts. So this also could lead to a mass exodus of businesses relocating their operations overseas. Just like companies, when they had high taxes in New York and California, left those states and relocated to a more tax-friendly state.
one thing that nobody saw coming, and this is the competition of states. I don't put companies here in New York anymore, or in Massachusetts, or in New Jersey, or in California. Those states are uninvestable. The policy here is insane. The taxes are too high. We put them in Fargo, North Dakota, because 40% of the people work elsewhere, including Boston. So I was, a bit of a debate with Elizabeth Warren about this, but I say, look, Senator, we've got to move the companies out of your state because you're not investable anymore. You're punishing people if they're successful. You overtax them. You hit them with a super tax. New Jersey, what a mess. New York, uninvestable.
Wait, why is New York uninvestable?
Try and do a project in New York. Try and build a data.
I'm asking, Don's point, is it beyond the taxes?
Oh, the regulatory environment is punitive. I had a project in upstate New York behind the grid in Niagara Falls for electricity, a global data center we were building. Eventually, it got so bad with the politicians in the local region and the state policy, we moved it to Norway and all the jobs. Norway has it now. Thousands of jobs coming out of that. I mean, that's New York. Uninvestable. Sorry, don't shoot the messenger. Just telling you the way it is. That's it.
So as you can see, it is crucial to familiarize yourself with each candidate's policy platform to make informed decisions as voters in this upcoming election. There is a lot at stake this year, so being well informed is essential. I pray that you open your eyes before you vote for your demise. Y'all have a good one.